but you are fine if you want to stay there. No, that's it. Yeah. That's it. Jazakallah khair. Sisters, if you want to come in, you can come in right now. Okay, for those who are following the Mus'haf, and I recommend everybody to have the Mus'haf with him or her, we're going to be reading verse number 45 and 46. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم واضرب لهم مثل الحياة الدنيا كماء أنزلناه من السماء فاختلط به نبات الأرض فأصبح هشيما تذروه الرياح وكان الله على كل شيء مقتدرا المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا والباقيات الصالحات خير عند ربك ثوابا وخير آمالا. Go ahead.
Give them the example of the worldly life. It is like the water we sent down from the sky. Then the vegetation of the earth was mingled with it, and then it turned into the shaft that is blown by the winds. And Allah is powerful over everything. Wealth and children are the embellishment of the worldly life, and the everlasting virtues are better with your Lord, both in rewards and in creating good hopes.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه بعد. Here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving us this great examples of life after He mentioned the story of the owners of the gardens, the believers, the one who owns the big garden, the two gardens, and he disbelieved in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he was so arrogant, so proud of his wealth and his power. And he basically, that led him to disbelieve in the resurrection, in the day of judgment. And we said, we talked about the story and the moral of the story last 2 weeks, I believe. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala يضرب مثل الدنيا. Allah telling us, after He show us how the dunya of that rich man in no time gone, صح? This is the dunya of that rich man. In no time, he woke up in the morning, everything destroyed. Even though it was a great amount of wealth, and a wealth that is secured because it has river in the middle, gardens, and all kind of things that we mentioned last week. But here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to tell us all, not only those who possess a lot of wealth, not only those who are disbelievers, not those who are tempted and basically deceived and led by their wealth. No, Allah wants to speak to all of us, regardless if you have a lot of money or a little bit of money. You have so much or so little. You have many things or you have nothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling to all of us that the example of this dunya, it's like the water that comes down from the heavens. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us that this dunya is quickly to be done, quickly to vanish, quickly to disappear. There is no real value of it because it will never remain with you for a long time. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَضْرِبْ لَهُمْ مَثَلًا. Yani ya Muhammad, put forward to them the example of the life. So here the order for Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I have a question for you guys. Anytime Allah address Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, is that means only the Prophet sallallahu supposed to do that? It depends, that's right. So sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell, Ya Muhammad, do this and do that, tell him that, tell him that. It depends. So for example, when the Nabi sallallahu was asked, Ya Muhammad, fight those, punish those who did this. So that's the Prophet ﷺ and whoever represent the Prophet. So the rulers, the judges, not individuals. That's right. Not individual go and apply the punishment, judge people. That's the ruler or the judge or the governor. So those who represent, you can disconnect it. Yeah. So those, Jazakallah khair. So those who represent the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his role, they are the one who've been asked to copy the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So here, this is this is order to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and all those du'at to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And all of us, because all of us give da'wah to Allah Azza wa Jal, to remind one another, to remind our family, to remind our friends about the nature of this dunya. So here, tell ya Muhammad to everyone, and it's been said no, tell ya Muhammad to the people of Quraysh. We learn many times. I just want to make sure that after this class, we pick a little bit of rules when it comes to tafsir. Here, two opinions. Some people said, Ya Muhammad, tell everyone. And another scholar said, Ya Muhammad, tell the people of Quraysh. Which opinion you think is stronger? And why? Nora, which opinion is stronger? Huh? Say it again. I say, so, Ya Muhammad, tell the people about the nature of this dunya. Or, Ya Muhammad, tell the people of Quraysh, the arrogance among the people of Quraysh, those wealthy people of Quraysh who think their wealth protecting them. So which one you think is more suitable with the Quran? Everyone, exactly. We have a rule. You always generalize the meaning. Don't ever specify it unless there is a necessity for that. Unless there's a proof saying that this is only restricted to a specific group of people, a specific time. But when the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam addressed everybody, he is addressing the people of Quraysh and other than Quraysh. That's right. So we always, in Tafsir al-Quran, we go with the general meaning. Is that clear, guys? So here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tell the people about the nature of this dunya. مثل الحياة الدنيا, the example of this life. In how quickly it will vanish, how short it is, how this life, subhanAllah, jubilat ala naqs. The default rules in anything in this life that it decrease. Yani anything has to do with the dunya, decrease. Think about anything related to life. Wealth, decrease. You spend from it, it decrease. Health, decrease, goes down. Age, decrease. The older you get, you run out of days. That's closer to death. That's right. You think about anything that you have, it decreases. Think about something that you love so much. Something that you love so much. The moment you have it for so many times, that love is start decreasing. Goes down. It doesn't go. That's nature of the dunya. Anything you want, position, degree, whatever, at certain point, it goes down. It never grows. Anything has to do with this dunya, hiya fi naqs. And also, it never stays in the same way. Always there is a change. The dunya always change. That's the nature of it. Once Al-Hasan al-Basri rahimahullah wrote a letter to Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. It's a long letter, but I will just pick a few lines from it. Listen to what he said. He wrote advice to the ruler. He said to him, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, he addressed the prince of the believers. فَإِنَّ الدُّنْيَا دَارُ ضَعًا وَلَيْسَتْ بِدَارِ إِقَامَةٍ. This life is a temporary place to settle in. It's like checking in a hotel. ضَعًا, it means a place where the Bedouins stay for a little bit to take advantage of the rain and the grass. Then they move to another area to look for another area with grass. So that temporary staying, we call this ضَعًا. He said, and it's not a place where people settle. إنما أنزل إليها آدم عقوبة. Think about that, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. Adam was sent to earth as a form of punishment to Adam. So Adam's punishment was to be put on earth in this dunya. Be aware of it, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. فَإِنَّ الزَّادَ مِنْهَا تَرْكُهَا. If you want to take from it what will help you in your future, you know what you need to do? Leave it. If you leave it, that means you gain from it. The more you leave the dunya, the more you gain. وَالْغِنَى فِيهَا فَقْرُهَا. You want to be rich in this life? Okay? Don't care much for it. لها في كل حين قتيل تذل أعزها وتفقر من جمعها. This dunya every day kill someone. Every day separate people from each other. Every day turn the rich poor. Every day there is something like that's happening in this dunya. Last night I was invited to go to the hospital to visit one of my friends and doctors, sister, his sister-in-law. She diagnosed with leukemia and diagnosed on March 4th. Okay? And her leukemia is so aggressive that also goes to the lymph, it's like spreading. And they said it sounds like stage 4. Even they just diagnosed her in March 4th. No history, nothing. And the girl, she just got a baby 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Just finished her college and her studied and did his residency, and she is a medical doctor. Young girl, married about a year and a half ago. About just to start her life and to plan for her future. That's the dunya. It just shut everything on her face right now. Not the only thing she focused on, her chemotherapy. So when he said, هي كالسم يأكله من لا يعرفه وحتفه. It's like a poison. When you eat it and you don't know about it until you swallow it. So if the dunya settle in your heart, it will be like that, basically the poison. فَكُنْ فِيهَا كَالْمُدَاوِي جِرَاحًا. Be like the sick person who only uses the medicine when he needs it. So you take from the dunya as you need only. يَحْتَمِي قَلِيلًا مَخَافَةَ مَا يَكْرَهُ طَوِيلًا. Be like someone who wants to be in a good diet. So you abstain from eating many things so you can enjoy many things later. Like me today, I saw this nice dessert and I said, I would love to eat it, but you know what? I'm going to pass on that kunafa today. So because I will, have, inshallah ta'ala, a better health. So that's how it is, the dunya. You avoid certain thing in the dunya because there is better thing you can gain in the future. وَيَصْبِرُ عَلَى شِدَّةِ الدَّوَاءِ مَخَافَةَ طُولِ الْبَلَاءِ. Yes, the medicine, the abstains can be taste better, can be hard, not easy. But the person worry about a long-term punishment in the future. Anyway, it's long letter. He wrote it to Umar ibn Abdul Aziz rahimahullah. He said, كَمَا إِنْ أَنزَلْنَاهُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ. So the example of life of this world, it's like the water, the rain, which we send down from the sky. Okay, question. The water comes from the sky or from the clouds? From the clouds. So why Allah refer to the rain coming from the sky, not the clouds? Because in Arabic language, anything above you, it's called sky. Sama. Kullu ma alak fahuwa sama. So in Arabic language, we call this roof sama, sky. So anything above you, in Arabic language, called sama. So here, if somebody asks you, wow, this is not right, said no, he means the cloud that is above you. طيب. Here then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, the example of the dunya like the water. And by the way, here I asked you before, what do you think the relationship between water and dunya? Anybody did any homework? Research that? Thought about it? Yes, Muhammad. What's the connection between what and what? So, what's the dunya has to do with that? No, no. See, what we're looking at, we're looking at this analogy. We're saying the dunya is like water. Whenever we make analogy, must be similarity. Otherwise, analogy is not working. Okay? So here we say, ما هو وجه القياس وجه التشابه, the similarity between the dunya and water. Yes. Very good. Water, when you try to grab it, it will never remain in your hand. كقابض على الماء يوما خانته فروج الأصابع فأصبحت من ليلة الغداة كقابض على الماء خانته فروج الأصابع. I'm holding the water in my hand, but all of a sudden the water starts leaking from everywhere. You think you own the dunya, but you don't really. In no time it can go away. It's very deceiving. Very good. What else? Very good, very well. One of the things is the water, when it comes down, it doesn't stay in the place. It either goes in the valleys or goes between rocks, evaporate, that's right, used by other, and the dunya never stays. It move on. That's how life is. Just move on. You know, the wealth that you have, somebody else will take it from you. Either your family, your children, or you give it to someone. Like Al-Hasan al-Basri once said, الدرهم والدينار بئس الرفيقان لا ينفعانك إلا إذا فارقاك. He said the worst companion is money. Why? Because the only time you can benefit from them when you get rid of them, when you give them away, when you pay something. When they leave you, they benefit you. So he said, the water doesn't stay. The same thing, the dunya doesn't stay. Fania, it will end. What else? Yes? Yes? Very good. The water is good for you, essential to survive. But too much water is a flood. Too much water can drown you. Too much water can destroy you. The same thing, the dunya. You take from it what you need to survive. But if you take too much of it, it will kill you. It will destroy you. It's like a flood. It will basically have a negative impact on you. Very smart. What else? They said the water, it is something you cannot protect your body from. The water, it is something you cannot protect yourself from. If the rain comes, it touches you. And this is the same thing with the dunya. If you involve yourself in the dunya and you enter to the dunya, it's almost impossible to protect yourself from the fitan of the dunya, from the test and the trial of the dunya. Also, yes, but we're going to focus on the similarity between water and the dunya, yes? He said, if you enter water and don't know how to swim, you will die. And the same thing, if you don't know how to deal with the dunya can kill you. Okay. Also, one of the things that the ulama said, قال الماء, the water. If you hold it for a long time, and it stay in one place for a long time, it change. The dunya, the same thing. You keep it and you hold into it, it became smell bad and taste bad. Let it run, it will be fresh. Don't hold into the dunya so much. They said also, the rain comes drop, drop, drop. That's right. Then, basically, after that, it's all gone. You know, it comes drop of rains, and next, we had rain today. Look at the street, most of it's clear. And the dunya is like this. Comes a little bit, and also go very fast. They said, the rain, nobody can stop it. And Allah's rizq from this dunya, nobody can stop it. If it comes to you, it will come. No matter what people try to do, it will never be stopped. Also, they said, the water on the rain, when it comes, it mixes with others. And the dunya is also like the wealth and the things in this dunya, always mix the halal and haram in it. They said the water is a way of purification, to purify yourself. And giving the sadaqah and the money and the dunya away is a form of purification as well for yourself. Anyway, when the water comes down, the plants grows. That's right, and the fruits. The flowers and the trees and the greenery, and it's so beautiful and it grows. But quickly things change. It doesn't stay so beautiful and so bright like this. And that's the example that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here. It's like the water rain which is sent down from the sky, and vegetation of the earth mingles with it and became fresh and green, but later it became dry and broke in pieces. So very soon it dries and broke into pieces, which the wind scattered. And that's how the dunya is. By the way, there is nothing in this dunya, subhanAllah, is a pure pleasure, except anything in this dunya has to do with Allah or to do with the hereafter. Just think about anything that is pure pleasure in the dunya, it comes where it is suffering. Think about anything. Wealth, you have to work hard. You have to keep the money. You have to protect the money. You have to invest the money. That's right. You think about health, you have to keep it. MashaAllah, you lose weight, you still have to maintain the losses of the weight, because easily you can get it again. You have muscles, you have to maintain the muscles. That's right. You have a business, you have to run the business. You have beauty, you have to keep the beauty, to take care of it. There is nothing. Children, suffering in itself. Okay? And you take care of them, and you basically look after them. And it is nothing in the dunya is a pure pleasure. Any lust, even the sexual lust in itself, has its consequences. People get disease, get pregnant, delivery. There is nothing really comes. This is the nature of the dunya. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us this, whatever pleasure that you have, quickly it turn to be something else and go away. The only pleasure that remain forever is what's in the akhirah, what's in the hereafter. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala many times give us the example of the life, like the example, he said, the example of this dunya, like the rain. In many verses, like the water that comes down and cause trees to grow, and quickly it vanished. For example, in Surah Az-Zumar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, verse 21, أَلَمْ تَرَ أَنَّ اللَّهَ أَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً فَسَلَكَهُ يَنَابِيعَ فِي الْأَرْضِ ثُمَّ يُخْرِجُ بِهِ زَرْعًا مُخْتَلِفًا أَلْوَانُهُ ثُمَّ يَهِيجُ فَتَرَاهُ مُصْفَرًّا ثم يجعله حطاما إن في ذلك لذكرى لأولي الألباب. Also in Surah Al-Hadid, the same concept. اعلموا أنما الحياة الدنيا لعب وله وزينة وتفاخر بينكم وتكاثر في الأموال والأولاد كمثل غيث أعجب الكفار نباته ثم يهيج فتراه مصفرا ثم يكون حطاما وفي الآخرة عذاب شديد ومغفرة من الله ورضوان وما الحياة الدنيا إلا متاع الغرور. also in Surah Yunus, verse 24. The example of this life, like a water we send from the sky, mix with the earth and cause trees to grow, where people eat from these trees and grass, and cattle as well. And when the earth looks so beautiful, and people think that they have full control over it, our order comes in the night or in the daytime, and it will turn to be all dry. Hasida, as if nothing was green yesterday here. Ya akhi, wallahi, every time I go to the East Coast, I love something about the East Coast, some of the East Coast, not all of them, but their greenery is unbelievable. They have so much green like land, but oh my God, just go in the winter. Nothing. Or go in the fall. Turn to be like all orange and falling down, and it just quick change happened to the earth. And you can't believe that this was so green before. So anyway, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us, وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ مُقْتَدِرًا. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminding us that He is able to do everything. We call this جملة اعتراضية. It's a statement that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala making in the middle to remind us of that power that He possesses. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said after that, المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا والباقيات الصالحات خير عند ربك ثوابا وخير أملا. Wealth and children, He gave an example of things that everybody care for from this dunya. Wealth and children are the adornment of life of this world. And definitely, I can tell you as a father of, alhamdulillah, my daughters and my sons, I can tell you there is nothing in this life more dear to me like my children. And there is nothing I'm so proud of like my children. And this is something I say it because I truly believe that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even though children are so important, but here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have started with wealth before children. He said, Al-malu wal-banun, wealth and children. Okay? Why? Because whenever you talk about worldly things, the first thing to my mind is wealth before children. Because it's a very materialistic thing. Okay? فَقَدَّمَ الْمَالَ عَلَى الْبَنِينَ. Also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just for the record, He never put the soul before the money in any place in the Quran, except in one time. Every time Allah refer your soul and the money, yourself and the money, He put the money first. The only time He put the soul or the person before the money, when Allah said in the Quran, إِنَّ اللَّهَ اشْتَرَى مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ أَنفُسَهُم. Allah purchased from the believer their souls and their wealth. Every time He said, give from your wealth and from yourself. جَاهِدُوا بِأَمْوَالِكُمْ وَأَنفُسِكُمْ. Make jihad with your money and with yourselves. He never put selves before money. Because whenever you give, it's easy for you to what? To give the money than to give your own life. But when it comes to Allah purchasing, He said Allah purchasing from you your souls and your wealth. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is great. He will not be appropriate for Him to take the lower one. That's why He starts with the soul. That's the thing that you give it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Zina. And I told you before, that's how Al-Quran put the children. Zina, not qima. They are not the value of life, but they are the beauty and the adornment of life. That's why it is not the ultimate goal just to make money or to make children. That's not the ultimate goal of life. There is something way higher than that. It's to make sure that this wealth and those children are a tool to bring you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It causes good on earth. وَالْبَاقِيَاتُ الصَّالِحَاتُ خَيْرٌ عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ ثَوَابًا وَخَيْرٌ أَمَلًا. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala followed it by saying, but good righteous deeds that last Because wealth will not last, children will not last, unless the wealth and the children, the reason for good deeds and righteous deeds to be done. For instance, An-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, when you die, your deeds stop except from three things. One of them, a righteous child that left behind you who will make dua, pray for you, or make sadaqah on your behalf, or pray for you. So you continue earn good. Or maybe that child, you taught him something good. Yani after you die, your children, okay, continue pray, fast, read Quran, do all these good things that you taught them to volunteer. You taught them to be modest, to be respectful, to be generous, to give sadaqah. You taught them this. You told them to read Quran. So every time they do these good deeds, you share the ajr with them. That's a completely another new perspective here for life. And you gain a lot of ajr from having such children or using your wealth in such. Why? Somebody used his wealth to build the masjid. Every time there is something good happen in the masjid, you share the ajr. And so far. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to tell us that the righteous deeds are the thing that last and it will never vanish. Al-Baqiyatu Salihat, the righteous remaining deeds. This terms, the righteous remaining deeds, what that mean, what that exactly refer to? Ibn al-Jawzi said that when you look at the early Muslim scholars, you will find 5 different opinions. Number 1, which is majority of the Salaf, the early generation like Ibn Abbas, Mujahid, Ata, they said that the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, إن عجزتم عن الليل أن تكابدوه وعن العدو أن تجاهدوه فلا تعجزوا أن تقولوا سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر فإنهن الباقيات الصالحات. That the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, if you don't have the ability or the strength to pray the night, to make qiyam al-layl, nor you have the strength to fight the enemy, or the wealth to spend for the sake of Allah. So make sure that you are capable or able to say Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar, because they are al-baqiyat al-salihat. They are the remaining righteous deeds. That's majority of the Salaf said this because of the hadith of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Also, other ulama said no. It's la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar, walhamdulillah, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Without the word subhanallah. And that's been reported from Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ibn Mas'ud, also Ibn Abbas in another narration, Ibrahim al-Nakha'i said, it is the 5 daily prayers. This is our al-baqiyat, so that's what the righteous remaining deeds are. Ibn Abbas said the good talk are the righteous remaining, al-kalam al-tayyib, the good talk. And the best of talk is to say subhanallah, alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu akbar. So that's really not a new one. Others said, Qatadah ibn Zayd, and one narration of Ibn Abbas, he said, any good deeds. And that's what I think is the most general and the most stronger opinion, in my opinion. It is any good deeds. And specifically, these 4 words, subhanallah, alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, Allahu akbar. And here al-ulama rahimahumullah, especially the early Muslim generation, you might say Ibn Abbas once said salah, one said subhanallah, one said Allahu akbar. Why he get changed? No, Ibn Abbas giving examples. He's not interpreting the actual words. He just give you examples. So examples of the remaining righteous deeds is to say subhanallah, is to say la ilaha illallah, is to make salah. So they're giving examples, not necessarily to define what this word exactly means. خَيْرٌ عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ. It bring you good with your Lord. So are better with your Lord. My brothers and sisters, pay attention to what I'm going to say. When Allah is saying, are better with your Lord, to indicate that other worldly things will not make you better with your Lord. You following? Allah is saying, these righteous remaining good deeds are better with your Lord. It will make you a better person in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will have a better result when you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with these deeds. But that's not the case when it comes to anything related to the worldly life. Yani you meet Allah with a MD, it doesn't make you a better person. You meet Allah with PhD, it doesn't make you a better person. You meet Allah with $1 million in your account, doesn't make you a better person. You meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while you are a scientist, biggest scientist in the world, it doesn't benefit you anything in the day of judgment. Because a lot of people think that way. I heard once somebody saying, it's impossible that Edison can be in hellfire. A khatib in Jumu'ah, he said it's impossible for Edison to be in hellfire. He lighted up all these places in the world, and you want him to be the darkest place in the world? I said, I'm not judging Edison in hellfire or paradise, that's not my job. But the logic that he used is so dangerous. That's exactly the logic of the mushrikeen, of the kuffar, who thought that their wealth, their knowledge, whatever they possess from the dunya, it is what's going to make them in the akhirah winners as well. And that's absolutely wrong. That doesn't make you winner in the akhirah. That's not khayrun inda rabbik. That's not what make you better in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's eyes when you meet Him. That's why when Aisha radiallahu anha said, Ya Rasulullah, this man who's known of his generosity, who used to spend all his wealth to feed the hunger and to help people, she said, Ya Rasulullah, with that, all the good deeds he did, he was so generous, so good man. Would it help him in the day of judgment? He said, no. Because he never said in his life, Rabbi ighfir li khati'ati yawm ad-din. Because this man never in his life prayed to Allah and said, oh Allah, forgive my sins. So Al-Quran wants us to see things in the right perspective, not from the wrong perspective. As we see today, some people do. Anything in the dunya you have and you work hard to achieve, it's good. But your hope in it is short. But anything you do, you work hard for the akhirah, your hope for it, it's so long. Look how hard you work to earn money or to save money to go for Hajj. How hard it was to travel to Mecca and to do the Hajj and to do the Umrah. But the hope that you expect from this act is way greater, way longer, way bigger than anything has to do with this dunya. Like any trip that you take for just vacation or luxury, maybe cruising or diving trip or hiking, whatever effort that you put. And I want you to ask yourself in the end of this verse a question that you should be honest with. How much effort that we put in the dunya comparing to the effort that we put for the akhirah? Someone willing to drive, willing to put so much effort, time, focus in the dunya, not even 10% to the akhirah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us this dunya quickly will vanish. And the akhirah, that's what will remain for you. So the wise person, when he hears this, when she hears that, they know where they should invest the most. Where they should invest their time, their effort at the most. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after that goes to a completely new scene where He says, وَيَوْمَ نُسَيِّرُ الْجِبَالَ وَتَرَى الْأَرْضَ بَارِزَةً وَحَشَرْنَاهُمْ فَلَمْ نُغَادِرْ مِنْهُمْ أَحَدًا وَعُرِضُوا عَلَى رَبِّكَ صَفًّا لَقَدْ جِئْتُمُونَا كَمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَوَّلَ مَرَّةٍ بَلْ زَعَمْتُمْ أَن لَّن نَّجْعَلَ لَكُم مَّوْعِدًا ووضع الكتاب فترى المجرمين مشفقين مما فيه ويقولون يا ويلتنا ما لهذا الكتاب لا يغادر صغيرة ولا كبيرة إلا أحصاها ووجدوا ما عملوا حاضرا وَلَا يَظْلِمُ رَبُّكَ أَحَدًا. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and remember the day we shall cause the mountains to pass away, like clouds of dust. And you will see the earth as leveled plain. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَيَوْمَ نُسَيِّرُ الْجِبَالِ وَتَرَى الْأَرْضَ بَارِزَةً. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after that said, and shall gather the earth leveled plain, and we shall gather them all together so as to level not one of them behind, not to leave one of them behind. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us, after He talked about the stories that we heard, the nature of the dunya, He telling us, so if the dunya going to vanish, what will be next? Very nice, like a sequence. So if the dunya going to vanish, so what's next? Allah telling you what's next. What's next is the next life, is the hereafter. And here He give you one just kida look at what will happen in the Day of Judgment. I told you the dunya vanish quickly, that's right. The disappearing of the dunya is two levels. In a personal level and in general level. In a personal level, you lose your wealth, you lose your life, you lose your money, you lose your children, you lose whatever, something personal. But in general, when everybody lose everything, and that's when? In the Day of Judgment. When everybody die, when everybody lose their wealth, when everybody lose everything that they possess, with the earth completely done and gone. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving us the example of the most subtle thing that you can ever think of in this dunya. What the one thing in this earth you never think it will be shaken? Mountain. That's the biggest thing. جعل الجبال أوتادا. The mountain meant to settle the earth. That's the most settling thing. You know, everything changed except mountains. يعني, generally speaking. Usually mountains are the one thing that always remain and it doesn't change. You know, we have mountains for millions and millions of years. Allah is starting the example with one thing that everybody in his head and her head, that this something can't change. Allah telling you, it will change. It will be vanished too. That's big things that you see the mountains. It will be وَيَوْمَ نُسَيِّرُ الْجِبَالِ. The word تُسَيِّر, the word سَيَّرَ, it means azala. When we take it away, remove it from its place. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah At-Tur, يَوْمَ تَمُورُ السَّمَاءُ مَوْرًا وَتَسِيرُ الْجِبَالُ سَيْرًا. Huh? Yes, it will be removed from its place. That's why they said, Ya Allah. Yes. Would the people witness the removal of the mountain? Yes, absolutely. Everybody, when they are in the Day of Judgment, they will notice there is no mountain on the earth. They will see it gone. That's why Allah said in the Quran, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْجِبَالِ فَقُلْ يَنْسِفُهَا رَبِّي نَسْفًا فَيَذَرُهَا قَاعًا صَفْصَفًا لَا تَرَى فِيهَا عِوَجًا وَلَا أَمْتًا. They ask you about the mountain, Allah will blow it away. Al-ulama rahimahullah said something very interesting. They said that the removal of the mountain goes through stages. As-Sa'di rahimahullah said something in that line. He said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removed it from its place. Then when it's taken out of the earth, like the way you pull out the teeth out of your mouth, you take the basically the mountain, its roots out of the earth. What will happen? يَدُكُّهَا Allah. Allah will smash the mountains. And when He smashed the mountains, they basically turn to be pieces. That's why Al-Quran speaks of كَالْعِهْنِ الْمَنْفُوشِ, that they will be like pieces of cottons. And another verse, كَتَمُرُّ مَرَّ السَّحَابِ, it's like the clouds, pieces here and there. Okay? So they are destroyed. ينسفها, blow it away. He smashed it. So it turned to be small pieces flying, like what he's saying, moving. Then that's it? No. Then the Quran tells us that not only that it will be also, after Allah blow it away and move it and become small pieces, it will be smashed to be turned to be like dust. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Muzammil, verse 14, وَكَانَتِ الْجِبَالُ كَثِيبًا مَهِيلًا, يعني like the dust. وَبُسَّتِ الْجِبَالُ بَسًّا فَكَانَتْ هَبَاءً مُنْبَثًّا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that it will be smushed, that it will be like the dust. That's it? No, even furthermore. That it will, after it turn like a dust, and like the grain sand, when you grain the sand, it will be like sarab, like a mirage. It will be completely disappear. That's why people come in the Day of Judgment will not see a single mountain in the face of this earth. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said next, وَتَرَى الْأَرْضَ بَارِزَةً. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and the day shall cause the mountains to pass away like clouds of dust, and you will see the earth as leveled plain. Why? Because if you remove all the hills, all the mountains, everything in the face of the earth, you can see the earth now clear, flat in front of you. There's no valleys, there's nothing hidden, there's no caves, nothing like that. It's straight, as we say, flat like a pancake. It's like Houston. لا ترى فيها عوجا ولا أمتا. You don't see any lower areas, higher area is like very flat. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَتَرَى الْأَرْضَ بَارِزَةً. It means there is no trees, no mountains, no buildings on it, nothing. It's just completely plain. Not a single tree, not a single mountain, not a single valley, not a single river. It just like, like flat, like a concrete that you see in the parking lot outside. That's how the earth looks like. And some ulama said, no, bariza appear, يعني يبرز أهلها من باطنها. It means that Allah brings people from inside the earth. We have a very common description for the earth. What we call earth in English? Mother Earth, that's right. Mother Earth. You know why we call it Mother Earth? Even in Arabic we call it Mother Earth. Well, Quran call it Mihada. He calls the earth what? Mihad. What's Mihad? It's like the crib of the mother. So the Arab also call the earth mother. Why? Because the earth will bring you out of its womb in the Day of Judgment like a newborn. It gives you a birth in the Day of Judgment. That's why you come out naked, like the way your mother bring you out of her womb. The only different, your mother bring you a child, and you will be brought out an adult in the Day of Judgment. That's why they call it Mother Earth. That's why we call it Al-Ard. And many times there is a lot of poetry, a lot of statements refer to earth like a Mother Earth. Then here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, saying, everything appear. So those who are buried inside it will be brought out. And he said, and we gather them, فَلَمْ نُغَادِرْ مِنْهُمْ أَحَدًا. We left no one of them. Anybody knows the word غدر? You want to call that? Go ahead.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and we shall resurrect or gather them all, and no one will be left. No one is a very general statement. أعظم صيغ العموم means no one, يعني everyone will be gathered. So no matter how old or young you die, where you die, how you die, where you buried, it doesn't matter. You will be gathered. Even if the person is in the sea or eaten by wild beasts or birds, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring him or her back and will resurrect them from this earth. وَلَمْ نُغَادِرْ We left no one. Just for those who enjoy Arabic language, because some of you do. The word غادر, okay, means left, tarak. Okay? Can anyone tell me other uses, how we use the word غادر? غادر comes from غدر. غدر, which is betraying. So what's the connection? Why we call the one who betrayed someone غادر? قالوا لأنه ترك الوفاء. Because he left what? Loyalty. طيب, another word comes from غادر, غدر. Any word you think of? I give you one and you tell me. Sisters, when you braid your hair, okay, and you put it behind your back, what do we call that? غدائر. Have you heard this word before? غدائر. يعني جدايل. We call this غدائر. Why? Because it was left behind your back. Was left. So the original root left. غادر. Also, have you heard the word غدير? غدير, not a girl, her name غدير. No. غدير الماء. The water we call غدير. You know what's غدير? Anybody knows what it is? Al-Ghadir, it is whenever there is a little bit of water left in a place, okay, and it's not deep and it's not very clear, and it's very, very little, very shallow. Why we call that type of water Ghadir? Because the river left this water back out. It was left behind. Al-Ghadir يطلق على ما تركه السيل من الماء إن كان قليلا. So the word غدر, it means left. So to use a lot in Arabic language, just in case. Anyway, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that everyone will be gathered. ذَلِكَ يَوْمٌ مَجْمُوعٌ لَهُ النَّاسِ. This is a day where people will be gathered for it. قُلْ إِنَّ الْأَوَّلِينَ وَالْآخِرِينَ. The first and the last. لَمَجْمُوعُونَ إِلَى مِيقَاتِ يَوْمٍ مَعْلُومٍ. Allah said in Surah Al-Waqi'ah, they will be gathered to a very specific time. إن كل من في السماوات والأرض إلا آتي الرحمن عبدا لقد أحصاهم وعدهم عدا وكلهم آتيه يوم القيامة فردا. In Surah Maryam verse 93, everyone in the heavens and the earth will come to the most merciful as a slave. And he has no choice, will be brought. لقد أحصاهم وعدهم عدا. He counted one by one. Al-Hasan al-Basri, he said, he even counted how many breaths they had in this dunya. قد أحصى أنفاسهم نفسا نفسا. Every breath you took in this life, it's recorded. وعدهم عدا. He counted one by one. وكلهم, every one of them will come in the day of judgment alone. How come alone and we all gathered? Isn't that interesting? Al-Quran says alone, but Al-Quran says all of us gathered. We're all together, but everybody feel like he's by himself. We're all next to each other, but as if there is no one here. It's like, when you in the hospital and terrible things happen, and you don't think about anyone else. You just think about yourself or the one that you have the musibah with, the problem. You don't think about anything else. That's how the day of judgment. We're all together, but everyone doesn't feel that he has people around him, as if he or she by himself or herself. Everything will be gathered, yes. وَإِذَا الْوُحُوشُ حُشِرَتْ. When the beasts will be gathered. وَمَا مِن دَابَّةٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلَا طَائِرٍ يَطِيرُ بِجَنَاحَيْهِ إِلَّا أُمَمٌ أَمْثَالُكُم مَّا فَرَّطْنَا فِي الْكِتَابِ مِن شَيْءٍ ثُمَّ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِمْ يُحْشَرُونَ. Every creature in the face of this earth, every birds fly in the sky, and the day of judgment will be gathered. That's why when I said everybody focus, nobody has said, oh my God, so this is the dinosaurs that we used to see, Let me check, what do you call that dinosaur, out, and nobody have that curiosity. Oh, let me see the mammals. Nobody care for that. Every creature, every animal walking the face of the earth will be gathered. Can you imagine the ones in the bottom of the oceans and the one on the top of the sky? And you might ask, Allah will not gather these beasts and these animals to judge them. No. Allah gathering them to show His might, to show His power, to show His capability, to make the scene so interesting. Just can you imagine that day with everything is gathered in that day? Everything, even angels, yes. Jinn, yes. Yes, you see the angels and you see the jinn. Allahu Akbar. That's why it is such a great verse when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَحَشَرْنَاهُمْ فَلَمْ نُغَادِرْ مِنْهُمْ. We left no one. It is so general that basically comes all this. That's it? No. وَعُرِضُوا عَلَى رَبِّكَ صَفًّا. And they will be set before your Lord in lines, rows. Now indeed you have come to us as we created you the first time. La ilaha illallah. They come before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so He can judge between them, so He can pass His judgment on them. And coming before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or being brought before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is something that mentioned a lot in the Quran. يَوْمَئِذٍ تُعْرَضُونَ لَا تَخْفَى مِنْكُمْ خَافِيَةٌ. In Surah Al-Haqqa, that day you will be brought before Allah, you can hide nothing. أولئك يعرضون على ربهم ويقول الأشهاد هؤلاء الذين كذبوا على ربهم ألا لعنة الله على الظالمين. In Surah Hud, verse 18. Who can be worse than those who attribute lie to Allah? They will be brought before Allah, and the witness will say, they lied, they denied, they made things up on you, Allah. May Allah curse such people. That will be said in the day of judgment. وَبَرَزُوا لِلَّهِ جَمِيعًا. When they all appear before Allah. فقال الضعفاء للذين استكبروا إنا كنا لكم تبعا فهل أنتم مغنون عنا من عذاب الله من شيء قالوا لو هدانا الله لهديناكم سواء علينا أجزعنا أم صبرنا ما لنا من محيص. When they are in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the dumb one, the weak ones, not the leaders, the followers, will say to the leaders who led them astray, they said, we used to follow you. We used to just cheer for you. Are you going to benefit us anything today? We used to spend our money, time with you. Are you going to benefit anything today? Protecting, reducing Allah's punishment that's coming to us? They said, if Allah guided us, we would have guided you. It doesn't matter. You cry, you weep, you scream. We're all in this together. There is no way out. يوم تبدل الأرض غير الأرض والسماوات. When the earth changed to another earth and the heavens will look like another heaven. There's no skies, there's no stars, there's no moons. But what happened? وبرزوا لله الواحد القهار يوم هم بارزون لا يخفى على الله منهم شيء لمن الملك اليوم لله الواحد القهار. When they be brought before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is in Surah Ghafir verse 16, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees everything. And they themselves sees everything too. See the records, see their deeds. And at that day Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, who is the king today? Then he said, Al-Wahid al-Qahhar. The one, Al-Qahhar. Yani he is the only one, he is the one, and he is the one, Qahar. Yani he control everyone. Why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala join Al-Qahhar? ايش تترجمها يا عامر؟ The overpowering everybody. Question. Why we have these two names together? Al-Wahid, Al-Qahhar. They always come together. Why? He's the one and he's the overpowering everyone. Because in the dunya and human beings, in order for you to overpower everyone, you need help. You need other people with you to overpower other people. But Allah is saying to you, He is only one. But even though He's only one, He's overpowering everyone. Because He is different than anyone else. لأن القهر يحتاج إلى عون في حق البشر. أما رب البشر فهو لا يحتاج إلى عون. هو واحد وهو قاهر لكل شيء. People brought before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the day of judgment 3 times. 3 times. You will be brought before Allah 3 times. And even might more. Because sometimes after the hellfire and the purification in the hellfire, maybe Allah bring you again to stand before Him. It's like standing in front of the judge and in the court. And this is something inshallah we'll talk about next week. How people will be brought before Allah and what they say, what will do. Are they going to be asked question? Can you reply? Can you answer? What's the difference between al-ard wal-niqash? What's the difference between being brought before Allah and your deeds showing to you, and you start arguing or defending your positions. This is something, inshallah, we'll talk about it next week, inshallah ta'ala, after Salat al-Maghrib from... next week I'll be in Toronto. I said that last week, but I forgot that is next week, inshallah ta'ala. But I will be doing it live, so I hope, inshallah, you all guys be here. Yes. Yes. I'll mention this of Salat al-Jum, of Salat al-Isha, inshallah.